What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and this is going to be the third episode of my Pirate DLC playthrough as part of my Overpower Level 8 Sniper Zer0 playthrough. Some of you have asked me to show my gear and skill build at the start of the episode so that you know what I'm using, and I'll go ahead and try to do that if I can remember. So far, the Pirate DLC has brought us to this point. We've done a few side quests, but in the main campaign of this, we are to the point where we have to travel to the Rustyards, which is a really awesome map, and I'll go over some of the reasons why I like it in particular after we get there. But before we get there, we have to fight through a somewhat challenging portion of Wormwater. Wormwater is a very large map with certain little pockets of dangerous enemies, and that's pretty cool. I think that Wormwater and Oasis both do a good job at this particular type of map design. Anywho, as we approach the Rustyards here, there are going to be several gun turrets that have a high fire rate and stuff, and we'll need to watch out for them, and then there are also some potentially dangerous enemies. We have to kill at least 2 badass pirates, and maybe more, and then there will also be some other enemies as well. There's a firebombing little plunderer here, or whatever he's called, and we want to make sure that we don't catch the fire damage over time from his little Molotov cocktails. Seemed like something was shooting at me from behind, but I might have just been imagining things. So these guys have de-aggroed. I guess I got right out of their range, but now I'm going to sneak up on them and try to kill them again. Slag is applied. We'll get some kunai on this guy, and then we'll take him out. His back pedal's pretty strong right now, but we killed him now. Excellent. So it says there's a dude right near me. That little firebombing dude has ended up underneath us somehow, and the texture mapping on this bridge was kind of keeping me from positioning myself exactly the way I wanted to, which was irritating. Never really seen those guys not blow themselves up like that guy was doing, and just kind of sit there and throw things at us that cause fire damage over time, but that guy was a little bit weird. So maybe that was just a weird kind of behavior glitch, or maybe that's actually a behavior that I just haven't noticed yet. Either way, I would say you want to avoid that if you can, because that fire damage over time, even though it did the glitched small DOT tick on us, could have been potentially devastating and killed us, which would have been bad news. So this is one of the badass pirates that we're going to have to face. He's got a Torg assault rifle, so we want to take him out rather quickly. We just used Deception, Slag, and Kunai there to get a good shot on him, and it knocked him out. There's definitely at least one more badass pirate that we're going to have to fight when we open the gate to actually get to the Rustyards fast, or maybe not fast travel, but travel gate. Excellent. So we're just going to kill these guys here. Seems like a pirate skiv, or whatever those are called, has spawned down there. Those have a high fire rate and a rather damaging gun, so you want to watch out for those things. Anywho, as we get further up here, though, he shouldn't be able to get to us. I guess theoretically he could. Some more autocannons up here, or gun turrets they're called. We'll try to kill them because we don't want them bothering us as we deal with the badass pirate. I don't think they can actually get a line of sight on us over there. One of these guys has a fire damage over time gun, so we need to kill both of them. Looks like one of them died to the Pimpernel, and the other one died right there. One more guy over here, and we'll kill him. I'm not too worried about ammo right now because obviously there is going to be a gun machine and a ammo machine right on the other side of this door. Like I said, though, this is going to cause a badass pirate to spawn. We'll get Slag on him and some kunai, and hopefully that takes his shield down, and then we'll kill him right quick with the Lyuda. Excellent. So moving into the next area now, this is going to be the Rustyards, and I really like this map. I think it's really awesome. It's probably my favorite map in the game. I think it has a beautiful aesthetic to it, and I like the way it's designed as well. The main thing I don't like about this map is this particular save station appears to be at least one of the laggiest save stations in the game, if not the very laggiest save station in the game. It's a little bit ridiculous. So this map is the first map that we get introduced to Anchormen, who are some pretty dangerous enemies. As far as enemies that don't apply a damage over time or have a launcher go, they're probably, you know, right up there as one of the most dangerous enemies if you exclude those other two types. And they're dangerous because not only are they almost impossible to get critical hits on, their critical hit spot is very small, but also they have the ability to pull you in. And these guys are pretty prevalent in this map, these pirate mercenaries that disappear and stuff. And those guys are awfully aggravating. So like I said, that save station is extremely laggy. And it pretty much almost caused me to die right there, which is pretty pretty aggravating, to be honest with you. And the way that save station's radius is so large really is annoying because you'll probably trigger it at least a few times during your initial fight here, especially if you have to back up like I did there. And the huge amount of lag it causes can be super aggravating. There are several barrels in this map, obviously. I'm never really a fan of barrels. But you can see a lot of them before you actually get to them, and it usually works out okay. I did a terrible job hitting critical hits on that guy. But, you know, this particular area here can be kind of dangerous as well, because you do get kind of a ambush here. We got an Anchorman, obviously, so I want to take out this Anchorman before we proceed, because he, in combination with the rest of these gun enemies, could be very, very dangerous for us. And then as we get up a little bit further, there's either going to be another Anchorman spawned or a whaler. And the whalers have these really large harpoons that they fire at you that stun you really bad. So, though I don't consider them quite as dangerous as the Anchorman, in combination with other enemies, like, say, this damage over time dude, they can also be very, very dangerous. Alright, so we avoided that harpoon he threw at us, and that's good. Don't want to take those harpoons to the face, because, like I said, it has a pretty heavy stun associated with it, and it can cause problems. Excellent. Deep Sea Whaler here, we'll go ahead and get ready to take him out, but first we'll take out that guy, and then we'll kill him. The Whalers are a lot easier to get critical hits on than the Anchormen are, and because of that, they're a lot less dangerous, because you can pretty much take them out with a simple Lyuda shot from Deception. And you can't really do that with the Anchormen, because a lot of times they'll block their critical hit spots, and like I said, they have very small critical hit spots as well. So they're pretty tough to get critical hits on. Luckily, they're so big that they're more or less Pimpernel bait, which works out well. So there's a little midget cabin boy here. He's going to die, and then we'll proceed forward. Now, we are kind of low on ammo right now, but there is an ammo chest right here in the next room, which probably will be rather dangerous. Has a lot of ammo, and the rest room, I call it that because it's an area for rest, not that there's toilets in there or whatever, has a lot of ammo chest in it as well. So we'll kill these 3 scoundrels real quick, let them bunch up on my deception decoy, and then knock out at least 2 of them like that, and then we'll kill the 3rd one. Alright. So we have plenty of ammo, 48 rounds plus whatever we get from this chest. Oh yeah, now we have plenty of ammo. So there's going to be a badass pirate right around here, and we probably want to try to kill him as quickly as possible. Looks like he only has a Jacobs assault rifle though, so he's really not going to be that difficult. He's jumping into the open here, which should make it rather easy to score a critical hit or 2 on him to knock him out, and that's pretty good. Now, the rest of these guys can definitely spawn with damage over time guns, but you should be able to use the cover available to your advantage. Like I said, watch out for damage over time. There are a couple irritatingly placed barrels in here, but this shouldn't be that bad. The next area may be kind of tough. But this area, now that we've dealt with the badass pirate, if I can actually hit some shots, geez, shouldn't be too tough. Excellent. So we're doing okay. My aim was a little bit poor when I had that one guy kind of sidestepping me, but we're doing alright right now. Hopefully this guy jumps down, or at least positions himself where we can see him before he backpedals again. One more guy. He has a shotgun. He didn't really have a chance against us. Cool. So now we're going into this next area where there are plenty of ammo, chest, and stuff. I'll go ahead and toss a few grenades back, just so that we can hopefully get 2 max grenades before we leave this area. Go ahead and open these 3 little things. Then there are 2 more here, and then there's 1 red chest as well, and we'll go ahead and open all of this. Sounded like a grenade jumped out of that box there. I don't think those grenades kill you, but it's nice that we weren't there. Just some relics from that chest, nothing too special. Get some sniper ammo, some grenades and sniper ammo, and then whatever's back here in these 3 little boxes. Looks like one of them despawned. That's always aggravating. Alright, so our prep for grenades didn't really help us, but we still have 7 grenades and 102 rounds of ammunition. Now we have 8 grenades, so we definitely have enough to make it through the next area. And now this next area can be very tough. There are a couple really aggravatingly placed barrels in this particular section, and we definitely want to deal with those appropriately. So I'll just go ahead and pop that barrel right there, and then I'll kill this first guy. Alright, so it doesn't look like there's a pirate mercenary here, but there very well might be, so we'll just watch out in case he tries to sneak up on us. Usually I think there is a pirate mercenary up here, so it's good that there isn't. The reason I'm not jumping down into this sand immediately is that if you do that, a anchorman will jump down from the ceiling, and that can be bad news for you. Excellent. I wanted to hit that melee guy. I don't know why. It would have been a lot easier just to hit him after he got closer to us, but whatever. Alright, so here's one of those guys that disappears again. They are especially aggravating. One, because they disappear. Two, because they deal a ridiculous amount of damage. And three, because they will often cause your antagonist to slag you because they get so close to you. Another really irritating thing about them is that they have rather powerful knockback for how small they are, and that can be aggravating as well. So now this anchorman has spawned. I didn't get too far out there, so he didn't immediately go for the anchor grab on me, which is good stuff. Technically, you don't have to kill any of these dudes. You can just kind of run past this area, but I'm going to kill them just because. Excellent. So a fun little firefight you can engage in there. One reason I really like this map is it has a good mix of different and unique combat scenarios. That first area, you're fighting up the hill. The enemies spawn in some sort of ambush scenarios, and then you get to that really narrow firefight inside the ship's hull back there. One of the stranded ships that's, you know, spanning the gaps here of this canyon. And this is another thing I really like about it aesthetically. And then the fact that they actually have you fight either on the deck or inside of those ships makes for some really interesting combat scenarios. So we are almost to Herbert now, and that's pretty cool. Herbert is more or less the midpoint in the map, I'd say. We got a fire spider ant here. Obviously, those are one of my very least favorite enemies in the game. I really hate those things, especially in Digistruct Peak. But we were able to kill that one there without too much trouble, so I guess that's good. Anywho, we'll take this up here and go meet Herbert. Herbert is obviously a crazy stalker type dude, and this is why Captain Scarlett hates him. As we can see, when we get to his hut, he has some pretty disturbing shrines to Captain Scarlett and stuff like that. So we'll head up here. Takes a little bit for us to ride that anchor up, but it does give you a sense that, you know, you're using the tools available to you by the stranded boat and stuff, and that's kind of neat. I just wish it moved a little bit quicker. I guess that wouldn't be authentic. Boats raise their anchors pretty slowly. Anywho, now that we killed those little spider ants, we'll run over to Herbert. It's important to note that when you're fighting especially close to that canyon right there, you should definitely deal with those spider ants smartly, because while they may not kill you health-wise, they could very well knock you into the abyss, which you don't want to happen. So we'll talk to Herbert here, and he'll come out, talk to us a little bit. And, yeah, he is just a little bit obsessed.
You're not Scarlet, but I can taste her scent on you.
He can smell her. That's a little bit weird. Anywho, we'll take a look inside his little masturbatorium here, and then we'll continue. So we'll turn this quest into him, and then he's going to tell us that he has the last piece of the compass, but he needs us to go pick up some tapes first. He has these little Captain Scarlett dolls here that make a little noise if you click on them, which is pretty creepy. He's also got a straight-up shrine to Scarlett here, also creepy. A whole bunch of pictures of her. It just lets you know that he's fully obsessed with her. And that's pretty sad, really. But, oh well. I guess this is his bed. Yuck. Anywho, we'll go collect his tapes now. You can just jump down here, basically. You don't have to ride the anchor back down by any means. Anywho, there are going to be a few more spider ants for us to fight here. The gallant spider ants, the big ones that kind of look like the slagged ones in Digistruct Peak, except without the slag, definitely have the ability to knock you off into the abyss there, and you definitely want to avoid that. So if you see one of those spawning, try to kill it from a distance, I guess, because that'll save you some trouble. Excellent. Those spider ant slaves have a significant amount of knockback as well, so those are also something you should watch out for. Looks like we got another fire spider ant up there. Always aggravating to get those things. 1, because they disappear, 2, because they cause damage over time, and it just makes for a very annoying enemy in my opinion. So we'll try to kill it real quick before it disappears, and we did not succeed with that task. So he'll reappear here in just a moment, and we'll try to kill him at that point in time. If we can get a critical hit on him, he still won't be dead. We'll switch to corrosive real quick, and that'll kill him. Excellent. I'm not sure if they're weak to corrosive, but it seems like if you have them slagged and then you shoot them with corrosive, they die pretty quick. They're probably not weak to corrosive. It's just probably the effect of having slag and another element works out well. So as you cross that bridge there, you'll notice the game shakes real bad. I think it's supposed to play a audio cue of the Leviathan yelling there, but for whatever reason, sometimes that glitches out. So this is one of the very few required jumps in Borderlands 2. There's one in Heroes Pass. There's a couple in Tiny Tina's, but not too many are actually required, I don't think. So I did some poor camera work there, but basically the tapes were tied up here on this little ship, and now they have flown to different parts of the map. But basically, they take us back to Herbert once we collect them all. We'll also be doing the quest where we find the message in the bottle and listen to Captain Blade a little bit. So we're headed over to pick up this little echo recorder over here. It's another one of Herbert's, or it's the first one, I guess, of Herbert's creepy stalker tapes. So we'll pick it up. Guess there's also a couple ammo chests here, which may be prudent to open because we're going into a pretty significant firefight here in a minute. Only got 12 rounds of sniper ammo there. He's trying to write a haiku here about Scarlett, and he's writing basically about her physical features, and he messes up the syllable count, so that's kind of funny. Anywho, we'll head in here, and there's going to be 2 anchormen that spawn right here. If you keep your distance from them, they won't be able to get their anchors on you, and if you do that, you'll be able to kill them pretty easily. Now, inside of this next ship, you can see kind of that it is a ship that got stranded here. There is a pretty significant firefight that can occur as you work your way up. Before we do that, though, I'm going to, kill all these dudes and pick up the message in a bottle quest as well. As I said before, I think these message in a bottles are well designed because they're somewhat difficult to find the, hidden X marks the spot without being overly difficult, and I think that that is good game design. Looks like you could definitely fall into the abyss there, so watch out for that. Anywho, we're almost up to the message in a bottle quest, and as we begin to progress up this uphill battle that we're about to fight, we'll try to do it a little bit strategically. I haven't done it too many times as Sniper Zer0, but I have done it plenty of times as Melee Zer0, and I have done it at least a couple times as Sniper Zer0. So we'll try to position ourselves strategically as we work our way up here. As we cross this threshold, there will be a badass pirate that spawns right here, and also probably some other tough enemies as well. I've noticed cursed pirates occasionally spawn right here. So just something to watch out for. You don't want to get into too much trouble. I took a lot of damage there. I'm not sure who has the strong weapon, but one of them appears to have something difficult, and we'll just try to position this cover between them and us as we still try to get some critical hits, but also wait for those transfusion trails to come. Excellent. So we have a few critical hits now. I want to get the next enemy spawning so that maybe I can use this critical ascension, but not proceed so far that I run myself into an ambush. Luckily, a powder monkey threw a huge grenade there, and it threw off my critical hit, so that was good for them, bad for us. But it added a little bit of excitement to it. Whatever grenade this guy is using is absurd. We want to kill this guy. Excellent. The knockback on his grenade seems higher than your average powder monkeys. I'm not sure what that's about, but it was definitely throwing off my aim. There's an auto gun up here, an auto turret, gun turret, and we'll kill it. Maybe switch to the corrosive pimpernel to kill it just so that we don't waste too much ammo. Excellent. So some more enemies will spawn as we round this corner here. They can kind of get the jump on you because they'll jump down and end up behind you and stuff. I guess literally getting the jump on you. And there are two, I think always two, badass pirates up here. And that will be somewhat difficult to deal with, but since we have the power of using certain line of sights to our advantage, we should be able to kill them without too much trouble. Being that we are going to fight a badass pretty up close here, I'll throw a transfusion grenade just in case. We didn't end up needing it because we killed the badass pretty quickly, but it was nice that it slagged that guy for us. Excellent. So I think that's all it was up here, and we'll make sure to pick up the echo recording here as well. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I'll switch the quest back real quick. Scroll down to it. Takes a little bit. We got a lot of side quests to do. Maybe we'll go back and do some of those eventually. So the second tape is right here, and then there are going to be two more up there. So we'll get them as we get there and stuff. But we are also going to try to remember to do the Captain Blade Hidden Treasure quest. One thing that I thought was kind of weird here is that Captain Scarlett is very skinny, but Herbert has a tape of her snoring right there, which is a little bit weird to me because she is skinny and snoring is something that is usually almost entirely exclusive to fat people. And it's kind of a precursor to sleep apnea, which is a very dangerous thing. So if you know someone who snores, you should probably recommend some weight loss for them, just, for their own personal health, because like I said, it can be a very dangerous thing. Now, as I mentioned before, those big spider ants can definitely knock you off the edge. And though we have a little bit more space up here than we did down by Herbert, or the canyon by Herbert, it's still, important to watch out for these spider ants knocking you off, because it has definitely happened to me before. We'll go ahead and collect this little tape real quick, and then we'll do the Captain Blade's treasure thing.
Today, Scarlett caught a crewman stealing from her.
He tells a pretty cool story here where Scarlett kills some dude just for stealing from her, which is nice. Alright, so we'll dig this up, and this will be the Captain Blade thing. Hopefully this takes over the Herbert Echo. Or his ended, so that's good. So, unfortunately I did not pick up the previous Captain Blade treasure quest yet, so we're missing part of the story. But in this little part, he tells us that, as he knew, his crew members were going to betray him once they got to the treasure. And he was saying before that he would just let them kill him because he, cared about them and stuff. But he took over and ended up killing all of them, a whole crew. And so it lets you know that Captain Blade was kind of a badass, which you should know because the Orphan Maker and the Rapier are obviously pretty badass weapons. So we'll go ahead and kill this little thing here, hopefully before it goes underground again, or before we catch a death sentence damage over time, both of which would have been irritating. One more irritating than the other. Some more spider ants spawning. We're almost done killing spider ants in this episode. There are this spawn area and one more spawn area of spider ants, so we'll try to kill them. Spider ant brawlers are another ones with hide knockback, so just watch out for those guys. Up here is going to be the 4th Herbert tape, and then we can head on back to Herbert, at which point he's going to try to send us to the Washburn Refinery. And upon arriving in Washburn Refinery is probably where I'm going to cut this episode off. Getting to Washburn Refinery is no small task. It can be a little bit tough to do that, so we'll be careful with that. Before we do that, though, kill this gun turret, obviously, and a few more spider ants along our way. And then we will probably do a side quest in Wormwater as well. Not all of them, but maybe at least one or two. I'm probably just going to do the condiments one because I remember it being kind of cool with a cool fight leading up to it. Or at least a cool fight as a part of it. Anywho, heading forward now, there are going to be 2 anchormen that spawn. It's not necessary to kill them. You could theoretically just run past them, but we'll kill them. They spawn really far away, so you should be able to kill them way before they try to get their anchors on you. Excellent. We'll open this chest here. Nothing special. And then we'll go meet with Herbert. Now, I guess after we talk to Herbert, theoretically, we could do a save quit to save a little time, but I'll just ride the trolley down. It's not a big deal. Unfortunately, Herbert keeps the compass piece in this little chest, and he tells us to shoot the lock off instead of giving us a key, which ends up sending us to the Washburn Refinery so that we can collect some polycriton. But like I said, I'm not going to go to Washburn Refinery in this episode. That will be something for next episode.
Once you deliver those with the last piece of the compass, Scarlett will have
Now, even if you shoot this like this, with a weapon that doesn't have a bulb effect, you know, there's no way we shot inside of that and broke this compass piece, but that's how it will always happen, unfortunately. There's no way you can avoid that by playing smart. So we'll talk to him, and then we'll just jump down here. We don't have to wait for him to give us this idea to go to Washburn Refinery or anything. We can start this generator and get moving on this right away. At which point we'll fast travel back to Wormwater, which we'll need to do anyway to get to the Washburn Refinery, because it, like the entrance to the Rustyards, has a somewhat dangerous fight to fight through before we get there. I almost wish the game wouldn't have given me the option to fast travel to Hater's Folly, because the fight to get into Hater's Folly is kind of nice as well. Anyway, we're definitely going to do the fight to get up to the Washburn Refinery, and we're also going to do the fight through the Shiv-Spike quest in order to get the ketchup so that we can feed him to the worms. If I remember correctly, that's kind of a cool fight where you have to try to stay on the boardwalk and fight through several dudes in order to work your way around to the ketchup, and there are some good enemy spawns in there, so we'll head over there. We need to pick that quest up, though, and I guess it's right down here on the deck. There are probably a few quests at this bounty board right now. Yeah. This quest, Catch a Ride and also Tetanus, is kind of irritating because it sends you immediately right back to the Rustyards just to run through it again and pick up some stuff for Scooter, which is kind of irritating, and it seems like that's probably the poorest thought out quest in this DLC, other than this one where you have to use a vehicle, and obviously I don't like using vehicles. We're going to do Smell Like Victory, though, and then we'll start this quest and then head to the Washburn Refinery. Shiv-Spike is this guy here. Mercer's kind of funny in this quest, and the stuff that Shiv-Spike says as well is also kind of funny. I guess these sandworms don't want us to do this quest, so we'll kill them right quick. Excellent. That angle makes it easy to kill them. So as we can see, Shiv-Spike's kind of a dick, and we'll be headed to get a car here in order to head to where we need to in order to get the ketchup, which is being heavily guarded by some pirates over here. And that's pretty neat. Like I said, this particular area, if I remember correctly, is going to have a cool little fight with a rather large amount of enemies leading up to it, so hopefully we do well in here. And this is another little alcove in Wormwater where there are, you know, a few enemies for you to fight through and stuff, and I think these are some pretty cool little areas. So, there's a dude spawned there. I don't know if it'll be easy to kill him with this car. He's a pirate mercenary type. Whatever, we'll just get out and kill them with our guns. It's a little bit easier and more precise. Oops, that guy's backpedal or just shifting mechanics are causing some trouble for us here, and the pirate mercenary is obviously causing trouble as well. Like I said, those guys are extremely dangerous. Alright, so now we'll head in here, and this is where we have to kind of stay on these boardwalks, because if I think if you get knocked down, you have to run all the way back to the start to get to the end again. At least that's what I think. That's what I remember. There may be a ladder. We'll see. It's kind of cool how these pirates actually have peg legs. That's kind of neat. That's pretty cool. You know, it's just another nice attention to detail touch that they have in this DLC. So, we kind of have to meander our way through these boardwalk areas and stuff. We got two powder monkeys here. We'll try to kill them real quick with the Pimpernel. If we hit that keg on their back, they blow up pretty quickly. But they're one of the enemies that can knock you off with their grenade knockback. If we get grenade knockback like we had in the Rustyards, we'll have trouble with that, definitely. Kill these guys here with critical hits. Excellent. Missing some on this guy, that's bad. That's okay though. And I guess we'll try to keep some critical ascension up as we work through this. If I remember correctly, there is either one or two badasses that spawn at the end of this, and that's pretty cool because it's kind of an ambush at the very end. And it's not a difficult maze, But, you know, it is something that you have to work through in order to get there. Ah, that guy was one shot away from dead. Alright. So, some more enemies probably going to spawn up here. Throw a preemptive slag grenade. Prudent, in my opinion. Ooh, gunner pirate. We want to kill him. We'll kill the powder monkey as well. So we're almost to the end of this here. I guess there are less enemies than I remember, unfortunately. But that's okay. Really enjoying this playthrough. Both of the game as a whole, but definitely of the pirate DLC as well. I think that it is a very well-designed DLC. Like I said, it's my favorite at least. Ooh, taking damage. Hardcore damage. Let's see if we can retreat. Excellent. So these melee enemies should provide us with plenty of cover to, one, keep our critical ascension stacks up, but also get some transfusion trails in. So like I said, this is the ambush here at the end. We already killed one badass pirate, and there's another one down here, so we'll kill him as well. Excellent. And then I guess there's still a few more little gunner pirates, and then another melee enemy. Excellent. So that was a pretty cool little area. There may be some more enemies that spawn if we drop down. I definitely remember there being more enemies in this area. So we'll go ahead and jump down now and see if any more guys will spawn. If I can jump down. Damn it, terrain. Alright, so I thought there'd be dudes, but I threw my deception decoy too early and wasted it basically, so hopefully we don't run into too much trouble. There's a couple gunner pirates over here. I want to kill this one first. He's the only one that could see around my potential cover, theoretically. Just jumping down here for kicks and giggles was probably a dangerous move, but it was one I wanted to do. That guy sidestepping was causing me some issues. I don't know what he was running to, but he was running. Anyway, that's probably all of them. There may be at least one or two more that spawn, though. Hopefully. I guess not. So we'll go ahead and restock on ammo real quick, since there is an ammo machine right here, I guess. And then we'll be headed towards the Washburn Refinery. Now, getting up to the Washburn Refinery can be somewhat of a challenge. There will definitely be a super badass loader at the top of that. Beyond that, there will also be some tough stuff to work through at the elevator that we need to get to before we head up there. And beyond that, there might also be a raider skiff scooting around, and I've noticed that that's actually probably going to be the most dangerous enemy in the area. So we'll just try to play it cautiously and do well. Like I said, getting up to the Washburn Refinery can be a little bit tough. Just grab a boat here, and we'll head that way now. Oh, no, we got to stop at Captain Scarlett's ship on the way to Slaver's Shiv-Spike and condiments first. How could I forget? My mistake. But we're getting pretty close to the end of the episode now, guys. We do have one big firefight to go through here, and also, you know, this little Shiv-Spike scene, which is a pretty cool little design scene. If I remember correctly, the worm jumping up and eating Shiv-Spike is kind of cool. But, like I said, going over to that area where Washburn Refinery is could be rather difficult. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but it should be all right. We'll just take this. We don't need to take the elevator. We're not going all the way to the top. And we get cardio in. Excellent. Just kidding. Cardio's lame. So we're going to talk to Shiv-Spike here. Now he's all covered in ketchup. And we can push him into the in the sand. A pretty cool little scene piece there. I like it.
I think I'm gonna miss him. Anyway, good job. Come on back.
We'll turn this in.
Actually, you know what? I don't miss him at all.
I was trying to cancel out of getting that quest reward there. I forgot you couldn't do that. Anywho, we are on our way to the Washburn Refinery now. Now, we may or may not find the caravan on the way there. I've found it on the way there a couple times before, so we'll see. You can actually see the Washburn Refinery smokestack up there, which is pretty neat. Huh, sure enough, there is this caravan here. Sometimes the game is very predictable. Anywho, we have the Corrosive Pimpernel out, So basically the caravan, as I mentioned when we first got to it, will continuously roam around Wormwater, and there will be 3 badass loaders protecting it, and then you'll have the chance to get, if you decide to kill them or find them, 3 red chests as well, which is pretty cool. So Boar's helping us out a little bit, at least stunning this guy, and we'll finish him. Need one more shot. Hopefully we can get it before his eye laser comes out. Excellent. So we'll see what we get from these 3 little red chests here. Probably nothing special, but it's cool to know that the caravan just constantly travels around and has 3 red chests. Now before Marcus's Mercenary Day DLC came out, this was a pretty good place to farm purple items. But obviously the Mercenary DLC is way better at it. But as you can see, I got several purple items, including an E-Tech here, which really sucks, from these little chests, and so that's pretty cool. Anywho, we'll go ahead and jump back in the sand skiff and then get headed over towards the Washburn Refinery. Now, like I said, this part can be pretty difficult. There are a lot of little pockets of tough enemies here in Wormwater, but the map as a whole is really large, and you just kind of get to scoot around in it, and that's pretty neat. I'm unsure at which direction I want to approach this from. I guess first I'll try to take out this raider skiff, but he has as much health as I do, so I want to be careful and not die to him, especially since if I run into one of those worms, I'll die. So we'll watch out for that. Hopefully he gets distracted by the worms or takes damage from running them over, as it looked like there, and I'll kill him, hopefully. Excellent, because I don't want him shooting at me as I ride this elevator up to the Washburn Refinery. And another really great piece of scenery in this DLC. So is that all the raider skiffs that are going to spawn? I hope so. The worms really shouldn't be a problem, because their accuracy and angle shouldn't be such that they'll be able to actually hit us up here as we fight through these pirates. Now, there will be several pirates that spawn sort of in an ambush configuration as you run into this area, so you want to be careful with that. I'll just back away here and first kill this little guy, and then we'll look at what's over here. Powder Monkey, we'll kill him. Excellent. Curse Pirate, definitely need to kill him. Curse Pirate gave us a few stacks of critical ascension. That's actually really nice, because it should be easier to kill these guys now. Like I said, these guys will spawn in sort of an ambush configuration, and that's something that you need to watch out for. It's also likely that at least one of them will spawn damage over time style, but that hasn't happened to us yet, which is lucky. Excellent. So one more enemy here. I think some more might spawn after we press the elevator or call the elevator down, so we'll go get ready to do that here in just a second. Still have plenty of ammo, and there's an ammo machine right there if we needed it. So we have to pull this, and this will begin its slow descent down here, which is why I definitely wanted to kill all of these guys beforehand. Now, there may be some dudes that begin to spawn behind us, so I'll just restock on ammo and know where they are just in case. Doesn't look like they're spawning, so I guess it's prudent to kill them before this thing lowers itself. And now we'll raise it, and nothing should shoot at us, but there is going to be a super badass loader up here. So, knowing that we're going to be going into the Washburn Refinery, I guess I'll just go ahead and attach my corrosive gear, because obviously we're going to be fighting quite a few loaders inside of the Washburn Refinery. And that will be the start of the next episode, at the very least. Gathering all that polycriton. Again, it's not necessary to kill this super badass loader, just like it wasn't necessary to kill the super badass pirate as we entered the Rustyards, but we'll kill him. Excellent. So, here's the Washburn Refinery, and this is where the next episode will pick up. As always, guys, I thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.